Hey, Eric.
What's up, Chris?
Welcome to the last episode of Season 4. Are you excited?
It's the latest we've recorded in quite some time.
Yes.
I'm pumped.
Are you going to be okay?
I think so. I had a lot of caffeine earlier. And
Oh, good. I should have done the same. I should have done the same thing.
Dehydrated. We've both been shot because we just recorded that last episode.
Want to eat another pickle?
Nope.
Neither do I. You want to hear some hot sounds?
Yes.
All right. Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast where we discuss classic Japanese role-playing games like Suikoden 2, chapter by chapter, beat by beat. This is the end of Season 4, Part 2, Suikoden 2. My name's Chris. I'm joined by Eric. Hello.
I'm Eric. The Song of Nephilim plays and Cosmos opens or
Cosmos.org. We're also joined by the RealNet, a collective of patrons who are listening to us record live. Hello, RealNet, and thank you for your support.
That was your quickest listen to us record live. You got that out in like 2 syllables. Way to go.
It's happening.
We're also joined by the Fake Net, our post-production AI companion who influenced the descent into cannibalism and the Showtime original Yellow Jackets.
Initializing Fake Net.
I have no mouth, but I must eat people.
Oh, cool.
You like soccer teams full of girls, Chris?
I mean,
You like plane crashes? You like surviving in the woods? You like flash
I like
forwards to
good
the future
television,
with
so I don't
stupid
really care what
idiots?
the premise is. So
Okay, cool. Maybe one day.
It's not anime.
What's happening now?
We're on the ramparts of Le Renewal.
Pent 2 plays as we kick in the front door of this.
Hold on, don't kick it in yet. There's a little tent out here, and outside there's a crate full of medicine and a barrel full of wine.
Tit out here?
Tent.
Oh.
There's a crate full of medicine and a barrel full of wine. There's also some helmets and some various war gear laying on the ground.
You know, I think item descriptions of environmental assets was a mistake. Not on your part, on the game's part for having so many of them. I know that you have to cover them because it is a compulsion we can't deny as makers of this podcast.
Yes.
I acknowledge that.
I think those might
However, I'm about done.
No, there's more inside the castle.
Great. Can't wait. Never mind. Not about done.
Eric, I brought a team of toasty motherfuckers into this castle with us. It is Riou, Vincent of Balls, Simone, Pesmerga,
Jesus.
Georg, and Mazes.
I brought Killy, Tyr, Rio, Luke.
Oh, you brought Muku Muku. So you did not go recruit all the squirrels to do the 5 squirrel attack.
Correct. And I'm sorry, I actually kicked out Killy to get Muku Muku.
Oh, good job. Okay, awesome.
You know, the 5 squirrel attack was untenable after I realized how long that was going to take.
Yes.
Also, if you want to listen to us talk about how Vincent of Balls and Simone interact with, who's the fucking flower general?
Milich Oppenheimer.
Interact with Milich Oppenheimer. Listen to our Patreon series because that happens in the Suikoden games.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. That's amazing. That makes me so happy. Theme of narcissism again.
Uh-huh. Pimps 2 plays as we kick in the front door of this palatial estate and find...
Yeah, I wrote down, anyway, we have to go in here and kill everyone. That's how you win the war, right?
You keep killing.
The
killing does not stop until they're all dead.
Kill all the bosses.
Who we fucking kill first?
We cross to the drawbridge and we walk the red carpet, but we're met by Lucia, who
Literally a red carpet.
Yes, who seems ready to die on this hill.
Riou, we lost our army, but we haven't lost our spirit. You cannot pass here. For all the warriors who died, for all the Karaya, and for the king. The boss music plays and we're fighting Lucia again.
All 6 of my characters are toasty because I've been bathing.
Nice. Oh, so I killed her ass dead with runes. I just unloaded runes on her because you can still go back and save and sleep and refill your runes.
Yeah. She's got some nice fire magic going on with her, so you can't go totally easy on her. I was like trying to go the conservation route.
Yeah.
And it was not a good idea because she does have some pretty strong spells.
Do you think the game should not have let you take Tyr to this? Do you think you should have been like, you know what, I've already done one of these. This is kind of the reason I left, actually.
Yeah.
So maybe leave me at home.
That would have been an interesting way for this game to reinforce some of the themes that it plays on with its main characters.
After the battle, Reminisce Ensemble version plays, and Teresa and Shin approach Lucia.
They're here to close the gap.
Close the Lucia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Teresa greets Lucia, says it's been a long time. Lucia can't believe that shit. You, little princess from Greenhill, what are you doing here? Have you come to laugh at me? And I must be like, yes, please. Teresa tells Lucia she hasn't forgotten her promise. What you said that my father had your father murdered, I'm going to look into it.
What do people mean when they say I'm going to look into it?
Oh, I'm not going to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No way. That's to give you like confidence. Like, oh yeah, I'll look into that. What about you? You still wish to die even though I've made this promise? Lucia responds by saying, what promise? Chef's kiss, Chris. Perfect
Yes.
localization. What promise? How do you plan on doing that may have served better? Teresa no selves the misunderstanding and responds, as acting mayor of Greenhill, it's my duty to search for truth and justice, even if that means damaging my father's good name. After all, Aren't you also looking for the truth? Chris, this is like the cops investigating themselves.
Yes, thanks. Call in the feds.
In response, Lucia unsheathes a dagger and raises it toward Teresa. Shin gets ready to beat ass, but with the dagger raised, Teresa tells Shin to stand down. This confuses the holy shit out of Lucia, who wonders why Teresa isn't trying to run away. Teresa replies, because I know you. You wouldn't hurt an unarmed opponent. Chris, is that true?
Lucia? I think Lucia does fight with some level of
degree of honor.
Honor, yes.
Even though she's been dishonored?
.com.
Teresa's gambit works. Lucia spits dots, then asks Teresa why she trusts people so much. Teresa's response is actually interesting. She turns around and says, I trust you. That's all. Just kidding, it's not interesting at all. Finally, Lucia lowers the dagger, takes a few steps back, and drops to the floor. It clangs. Then she speaks. You can go, Riou. This is your fight. I'll watch and see how things works out.
How things works out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Your last line of dialogue is a typo.
I guess it's okay that they close this loop before the game ends, but this subplot was expressed completely through dialogue and not through any sort of meaningful storytelling.
Yeah, I want to see an investigation that I'm not going to get.
Yeah, so the payoff is not ideal, but as mentioned, we will see Lucia again in Suikoden 3.
Shin, Lucia, and Teresa stay behind. We have control. I go home and take a nap, then I go make my final party and recruit Tyr, because with Riou, he has the Kai attack.
Oh, yeah, the double hero attack or something like that?
Right.
Yeah, we're back in the castle, and we...
Pimp 2.
Yeah, Pimp 2. We go through an armory, kick some Highland soldiers' asses. Ran into some other bad guys, too, right? Some Magus.
Floating magicians, the color of expensive fruit.
Yeah. And Chimera.
Oh, I didn't get any of those. What are those?
Oh, they're Chimera. They've got 3 different heads, 3 different attacks.
Rat tail, lion head.
Yeah, I think there's some sort of bird, lion, and serpent, I think.
Cool.
Yeah. Found a robe of mist, which I put on a character,
I thought that was an enemy. I was like, what the fuck?
No.
Bronzem. Kneeling ogre dudes look like green Thanos.
Oh.
Chris, are these Lemurnos Antifa super soldiers?
I think yes, but I think maybe they're Uber monsters they left behind.
He left, but he left his monsters here. Highland commanders. These are scripted battles. We find out with them loitering around here.
Yes.
Darker shades of blue armor. They're laid out dead when we get control back. Anyway, we cruise through another boring hallway and tension plays, and we find the caped adversary.
It's Han Cunningham, a decorated knight of yore with thick hair and a thick beard. I guess we did get a lot of backstory on this dude, but it was never noted, as we said before, that he was alive. I assumed he was dead because Kinkaku was dead.
He's a hero of the past.
Yes. He says, you've come this far. It looks like we couldn't stop the bright shield rune and the black sword rune from fighting after all.
All this fighting for nothing.
Yes, me and Kinkaku, all we managed to do was buy a little more time.
But all they managed to do was not have an all-out war. Like how many people died in our fucking war here when it's always going to come down to this shit anyway?
Well, they sealed their rune in Pilika's dad's temple a long time ago in order to avoid this, but I don't know why they should have not put it near civilization.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's where it has to be. I don't know. We don't really get much rune science
Stupid
on this.
plot.
I tell this dude to get out of my way. He says, not likely, sonny. My job is to protect the king. You won't get by me so easily.
It would have been neat if Han was brought in at the last minute, like a guy on the other side trying to stop Destiny, like Jowy's Nanami. Like if Han had been trying to stop Jowy, like Nanami was trying to stop Riou. I'd be like, no, listen, you don't understand.
If he was actually performing the actions and that were more congruent with like what he's saying right here, because like he's saying all the stuff like he's trying to prevent the war and stuff, and then he's like, no, I'm not getting out of the way.
I just wish there was a Jillia, Pilika, Han coalition that could have formed something to oppose Culgan and Seed, who are going to step on the gas in Jowy's ear. Just like I mean, this is a part of the Jowy Stars of Destiny that we'll never get to understand.
Yeah. The duel with Kinkaku, it continues here. We fade into another duel where the dueling music plays.
I don't know what song that is. I am going to play the rope climbing music.
Han tells me he can't let me past here. We trade blows. We trade blows again. We both defend, and then I hit him with a wild attack. Beat his ass. Any notes on the battle?
I murk Han, he drops to his knees. Riou stands tall with eyes closed.
Yeah. After he's shivering on the ground,
Requiem of Grief plays.
Holding himself up with his sword. He moans, boy, Kinkaku's son, what is your name? He should know this by now.
Yeah.
I'm famous.
Yeah, I think he's asking it to make a point.
Yeah.
Also, he's shaking.
Yeah. I tell him. He says he has to apologize to all of us. 25 years ago, he and Kinkaku sealed their runes. He says, quote, the bright shield rune and the black sword rune were both once one. In its true form, as the rune of beginning, it has the power to end war. But in order to wield that power, you must first... ...
Face plants, drop sword.
Yep. He tells me I'm a strong young man. He asks for forgiveness that he and Ginkaku were both weak.
An important detail, he is face down here, so he's licking the carpet as he speaks.
Love licking carpet when I speak. Happens all the time. We party in and solemnly leave this area. Han tells the spirit of Ginkaku that he can finally rest.
When Riou Otto walks over, he briefly stares at the fallen body before exiting the room.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about Han? Underutilized or correctly utilized? Is this a good late game swerve?
I think maybe there should have been a little bit more foreshadowing or a little more seeding of him.
Like you should have just seen him in the background at some point maybe without really knowing what, like the sprite never speaks, but you see the sprite in the background.
But if you really wanted to go deep on Han, then you should have, then like what you said, he should have been part of a coalition that was trying to offset Jowy. Like as Jowy's coalition was offsetting Luca, there should have been another coalition forming to offset Jowy.
Yeah.
Because that was what he said his goal was to prevent this. But
Pemp 2 resumes and we're exploring more of the castle. Can they call off the soldiers now? Are they done? No.
They must fight until the castle burns down.
After a slog of the castle, we finally find a save crystal and I hop to a...
Well, I found something. I found the war room, Eric.
Okay.
There's a map spread out on the desk.
What's on the map?
Just a map.
Okay.
It says map.
Did Templeton send them a map?
Just his map.
Okay.
This is where Jowy kept his map maker.
Map. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if he had just all of his Stars of Destiny were like dark, evil, reverse name versions of our Stars of Destiny?
Yeah, bizarro versions. You do have to actually kind of pay attention to the navigation in this place.
Maybe you did.
So you don't get lost. But the castle's pretty huge, almost as if it was designed to hold 108 characters. You can also find your way to that sacrificial table from earlier. You can go there.
Table of sacrifice.
And if you go, at one point I thought I made it to the throne room, but I was in the Freemason wedding room, and when I went in there, the music stopped.
Oh, were you married?
Nothing happened.
No?
No, there weren't enough Mason witnesses, I guess. So yeah.
I hope to God a boss is literally around the corner, then my wish is granted as music tension plays and we meet Seed and Culgan standing together at the end of a red carpet.
Yes.
Culgan gets snooty. Lord Riou, the Blight family throne room is past here. It's no place for rabble like you.
Rabble.
Seed is more childish. We're not giving up our country so easily. We still have our pride and you won't take it away. And we get a choice. I'll force my way in or get out of my way. Like Squall Lionheart, I force my way in.
Mm-hmm.
Seed responds, you have to beat us first. Just like Luca Blight, go ahead and destroy everything in your path.
Wow.
What?
He's
comparing Riou's conquest to Luca's.
Yes.
Destroy it all.
Yes.
I think, obviously, there's the protagonist. I think my quests are more noble, but I guess so did Luca. I think that it's a good mind game, though.
It is. Well, it's a good mind game, but also I think it is an interesting point to like an inflection point for Riou being like, because we are just sacking a castle right now, right?
Yeah, in Seed and Culgan were complicit in Luca's downfall.
Yeah. They draw their swords.
Let's go, Riou, and both of them unsheath.
Did you at any point during this game think that Culgan and Seed were going to be Stars of Destiny?
For sure way plays. After Culgan got in our party and then left, no, not at that point. I didn't think they were going to Alan and Grenseal over to my side.
Culgan has lightning magic. Seed probably has fire magic, but I killed him too quickly.
I thought Seed had a fairly incredible looking lightning power sword strike.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Muku's not really putting up any sufficient numbers here.
Oh, he is not?
No.
Oh, well, yeah, see, old Vinny Balls is decent. Simone has decent magic, but neither one of those guys really carry their weight in a way that like a real motherfucker like Georg or Peshmerga, Killy, Sheena.
The good characters.
Yeah, Sheena's even a good character in this game, but you should not use Sheena. And of course, Mazes has incredible magic.
After the battle, Seed and Culgan both drop their swords and fall backwards like cartoons.
Yeah.
Requiem of Grief plays, and we get a choice.
Yeah, we've been doling out a lot of sadness and grief.
A lot of grief themes. The outcome's already decided, or dots. I tell them the outcome's already decided because that's an insane thing to say.
Yeah, especially when they're sitting here starting their death rattles.
Seed turns into Philosopher King. Is it really so strange, Riou, that we should fight? Culgan's a bit more subdued. Lord Riou, you are the hope of the Fig Nuts army. Just as Lord Jowy was the hope of our side. Past tense? Was the hope?
Yeah, they know this shit's over with.
He rid us of Luca Blight, and we hoped he would lead Highland to a better future. Seed gives up. Go then. We don't have the strength left to fight. Chris, Culgan and Seed, honorable soldiers fighting for their homeland or fascist dickheads.
They never really give us a sense of what their preferred method of governance is. Like, they're serving Jowy the King, right? So we don't know what their plans are. They actually go on and talk about, like, saying that they had all these plans for the country, so...
Surely you must know that in the Suikoden games, they hunt Nash for sport and use the beast rune on him.
Okay, fine. Fine then.
Just saying. Riou then walks past both these numbnuts without even looking at them. So I'm watching Succession right now, and this kind of reminds me of a character named Kendall Roy, who's the heir apparent and also weirdo.
Yeah.
He refuses to accept psych damage from shit like this and just repeats, okay, I'm good. It's good. Over and over for like every problem that he encounters. He kind of nods and goes, yeah, okay, it's good. I'm good. I imagine Riou doing that, like not getting any psych damage from this and just proceeding on, just steamrolling through the shit.
Just push through.
Alone together, Seed looks at Culgan and says, it was fun. All the plans we made for this country, for the future. Culgan, presumably bleeding from the mouth and ears, gets sappy too. Yeah, it's a good thing that we die along with this country.
Sure.
Fade to black.
Bye, guys.
I hope when we're dying simultaneously in whatever accident that I cause, you say, you know what, this is a good thing. We don't do the podcast anymore.
Yeah, it's over with. Already got them all scheduled. We're good.
It's automated.
We cut to a nicely rendered bedroom, side perspective. Like
sunlit, 4 windows.
Cinematic perspective, I guess you could say. Pilika and Jowy are here. Pilika says, what's wrong, Uncle Jowy?
Reminisce ensemble version plays.
Jowy approaches. He says, Pilika, sweetie, this is where we say goodbye. She lowers her head.
I'm like, oh, he's going to kill her and himself?
Shit. Sounds like something Jowy would do. She lowers her head, closes her eyes, and agrees. She wonders if he'll be back, just like always.
Jowy always comes back.
Yeah. Jowy, however, says this will probably be the last time they see each other. It's goodbye forever. She's got a lot of dots, just like the old days, but she manages to utter a no.
Is Jowy ready to die or ready to lose himself?
I think Jowy knows he's going to die.
Okay. Not lose who he is and submit to the rune, but going to die.
The rune is going to suck the rest of the life out of him. He knows it's going to happen. Then she says, no. I don't want you to go away. I don't want to be alone.
Yeah, what's the Pilika plan here as the parental figure? Is he going to just let her go in the woods, be a feral child?
He's got a plan.
Okay.
We're coming to it. Jowy says, Pilika, listen to me. You're going to grow up and meet lots of people, and you're going to lose a lot of people too.
Shit.
So don't forget, Pilika. Enjoy the moments you have together. Nothing lasts forever. Okay? She lowers her head again, gives 2 lines of dots, and eventually agrees. But she has one favor to ask. Can you pick me up and hold me like my daddy used to?
She's reaching up for his shoulders at this point.
Yeah. Just once. Please. Jowy obliges. She says, my daddy used to hold me like this.
It's something out of left field, Chris.
Just like this. Jowy thanks Pilika. They both close their eyes. And from left field, Jillia, who is not dead, enters the room.
You called, she says.
Jowy has a favor to ask. Jowy says, Seed and Culgan can buy us some time. But sooner or later, this castle is going to fall. When that happens, Highland will disappear. I want you to take Pilika and the 2 of you to flee to Harmonia. I've prepared a nice home for you and Pilika there.
Is this the first time Jillia's heard this?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. And I think that...
How did she plan to live in hiding forever if she was just killed in a ceremony?
Yeah. Well, I think that the ceremony itself and all of the actions of the Highland army in this last
was the
battle
only conclusion?
Was simply for Jowy to get Pilika and Jillia out of here and for Jowy to get himself out of here.
Not self-ser? Okay,
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think Jowy knows it's over for him. Like, literally. Like the rune is going to kill him. I want you to live there, not as the Blythe family, but under a new name. So you and she can have a new start. Jillia has some dots. Then she wonders if it's really over. Jowy confirms. Jillia says, in that case, farewell. Come here, Pilika, honey. Pilika runs out of the room. Jowy turns to Jillia and says, I'm sorry. She asks why he's apologizing. And we get some interesting information here. She says, you don't think I didn't know how you used me, what you did to my brother and father? I knew all along. But even then, I always love you for your dreams, for your goals. Why apologize to me now?
She loves me for my ambition, Chris.
Yes, I guess so. Yeah, she loves me for my meme stocks. You don't need to say sorry. You're my husband and the man I will always love.
Okay, Chris, 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
One is a wish that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
When Jowy said I prepared a nice home for you in Pilika, I wanted Jillia to say, who's Pilika?
Yeah.
And second, I find it tough to believe that Jowy didn't coordinate all of this with Jillia's active participation. Chris, do you think your wife would still love you if you killed her dad and sibling and also pretended to kill her in front of everybody?
I mean, that's a reach. I don't think so. I mean, that's kind of fucked, right?
It's a little bit. Yeah.
Does she know about the ceremony?
I wish we had more. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I wish we had more of their interiority because this, to me, can be the basis of all kinds of fanfic.
Yeah.
About what their interior lives were. And we don't get anything. I think that's cool that we don't get anything, sort of. But I want more as a player of this game and podcaster of its content.
Even if Jillia does know about the ceremony, like Jowy could have framed that as, we're doing this to buy time.
Yeah, but that sounds like an excuse you just make up.
Yeah.
I was just buying time before the mass death.
Jowy is letting hundreds and thousands of soldiers die so he can escape, right?
Yeah.
It really is kind of self-serving.
Did we get to her saying, you don't need to say you're sorry, you're my husband and the man I will always love?
Yeah, we got that.
Okay, Chris, the Eric Siegel novel Love Story and the subsequent film adaptation popularized the phrase, love means never having to say you're sorry. Chris, is that true?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so.
I don't think so. That doesn't seem right.
Mm-mm.
Everybody fucks up.
Jowy doesn't say shit. Jillia turns her back and walks away, then stops after a few steps to say, if I were to die, would you shed tears for me? Shit.
Dude.
Jowy turns his back and responds, please live, Jillia. Live or leave? Did he mean leave? Please leave or please live?
I got live.
He said live, but was that a localization fucked up where he just said please leave?
I think he said please live.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does Jowy assume we're going to kill him or that the beast rune is going to devour him and his soul? Which I think we've already answered.
I think he knows the black sword rune is going to devour him.
One of the two are going to happen.
Yeah.
Jillia then takes a few more steps away, then turns around with a custom animation and rushes over to Jowy, whose back is still turned. On a black screen, Jillia's dialogue box says, this is the final farewell. Before anything happens, I wonder if she's going to fuck him or kill him or kiss him because anything seems plausible at this point.
Yeah.
Like, what is the final farewell? Are they hugged? Like, what is the parting gift? Jowy says Jillia's name and they both say farewell once more. We're back to Riou.
Yeah. We enter the fancy final boss hallway.
Well, I went back and saved.
Oh, yeah, me too. No music.
I've got tension.
Well, no music at first when we enter the hallway.
Oh.
Once we reach the top, tension plays. It's Leon Silverburg standing above a giant rune on the floor.
Yeah, it's emblazoned on the floor.
Presumably the beast rune. It's not Jowy. Jowy's not the final boss, Eric.
No, this is the final boss of the game, which I didn't know until after I beat it.
Leon says, Riou, I never meant for this to happen, but I must admit I'm impressed you made it here.
I do think it's cool that a Star of Destiny last time is the final boss this time.
Yeah. Well, this is the end. The beast rune that Luca Blight left, its demonic incarceration is here. The demon that fed on the blood and souls of the Muse citizens. It's all I could do just to keep it sealed here. It was Luca's plan all along to unleash this beast on the world. This is your final test. Can you win this time, Riou? Leon then offers a sacrifice of Leon blood.
Yeah, he blades his hand with a knife.
I'm thinking back on that Leon shoe scene where he was talking about the tides of history and all that kind of stuff and who controls it. Is Leon just doing this boss battle to ensure history is left to dudes who beat monsters?
I think so. I think he's playing a part in Destiny that he has to.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I had Tyr and Flick and Victor. I wanted to be like, we should have left you in that fucked up house.
Yeah, we should have.
You know what I mean? I should have never delivered that letter or whatever.
Also, a Star of Destiny from this game is the final boss of the next game, too. So
Cool.
it's very obvious once you start to play the game.
I have no idea who that is, and maybe I'll find out one day. CG cutscene. The beast rune glows and then fades into magic shit. It turns into a wild blue flame, smolders for a moment, then takes the form of a ghost wolf and kind of flies around the room. Divides into two wolves, then blisses out of control into a blurred out 90s spiral screensaver. Music. Silverwolf plays, and we're fighting this double wolf thing against a cosmic purple background.
Yeah, it's beautifully colored. A double-headed wolf guy. I really like the shading on it. It's really, really perfect.
5 separate targets: left leg, left head, right leg, right head, rune.
Yes, we have to kill the rune part first because it's like a defensive wall or something.
Yeah, it's like it's pulsing a shield out of a double wolf or something like that.
Yes. One of the beast heads will call a flaming sword. The other one will do like some magic stuff. The legs will do a couple of attacks and heals and stuff like that.
I just unloaded all of my spells.
Yeah, I wrote, may the narcissist protect me, because I gave them my defensive magic stuff, since they really couldn't do much else. Just unloaded.
I wish I had more of a story about how this battle was an epic swing back and forth, but really I just pulverized it with Squirrel Men and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take out the head, both heads, and the whole thing explodes.
Explodes into white light. The image of the beast rune is all that remains against a black screen until it too fades to darkness.
Oh, did we say the music?
Oh, it was playing Silver Wolf the entire time.
Yes.
Hell yeah, I scored 20,000 potch off this motherfucker.
My pockets can't hold this potch. I'm full.
Question, is the rune dead? We destroy one of the true runes. Are there only 26 now? Is this like when Cypher slayed Odin?
No, I think it's the same concept of when we beat the Hydra in the first game. That was the Conqueror rune that Barbarossa used.
Oh, right. Okay.
And we beat that thing, and that rune still exists.
But who's got it?
I mean, no one had to begin with, because no one man can hold all this power of the Beast Rune. It has to be in the floor of Highland Castle for some reason.
Damn it. Okay, Riou steps forward and we advance into the throne room. It's empty, save for Jowy's cape draped across the seat of the throne. Cool-ass image.
It is. It's like Jowy is saying to us, hey, you just leave.
You just leave.
Yeah.
Just quit. We're done.
There's stained glass windows in the background that are full of saints.
Luke points out the king isn't here. Then it starts happening again. The earth shakes. Tyr, a veteran of Suikoden endgames, thinks the place is about to collapse.
Simone says, my dear friend, it seems we have won. Is it not true? By the way, every character that you can bring has specific written dialogue for this scene, and I went through it, and there wasn't anything worth repeating, but every character kind of says their thing in character. You know what I mean?
Makes it right. Wishing they had invented Richard Honeywood's Chrono Cross dialogue system.
Yes.
You can tell. Victor says we got to get out of here. We get a choice. You're right, or no, we've got to find Jowy.
As the castle rumble, Georg says, that battle must have, let's get out of here, Riou. And then Vincent says, come on, let us run, my dear friend.
Everyone then runs the fuck out of here with Flick dragging Riou's sprite toward the exit.
Did you say you've got to find Jowy?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Pesmerga dragged me out. He said, don't be an idiot. Let go.
We're treated to canned scenes of Riou running out of the castle. Some of it, specifically when Riou is outside, he's running in a zigzag pattern used to avoid gunfire whenever there's a mass shooting or sniper attack in the United States.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Out on the dock or bridge or whatever that is, all of our guys are waiting for us. Pitcher says something that doesn't make any sense, just Riou's name, really.
Yeah.
And Leona gets pissed at him for even making such a joke.
I think he must have been screaming like, Riou, don't die, or Riou's not dead, or something.
Riou, the localization's bad. Teresa steps forward. He'll come back. I know it. He can't die. He's going to bring peace to this land. He just can't die.
Oh, yeah, he can.
Gotta bring peace by killing. Just then, the exclamation point appears over Ridley's head. Look, he says. Camera pans up to the drawbridge with Riou T-1000 running down it. Music, heart-softening BGM 1 plays, and Riou makes it. He runs to the center of the friend circle. All of my friends in this circle are overjoyed.
Vicky's sweating. Did you notice that?
No.
Yes.
It's funny.
I don't know if she's sweating, but she's like in the back of the group hug trying to like jump up
Do
and
all
see.
that stuff?
Yeah.
Just want to be included. I was like, Amada's here? Meg's here?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I wonder what happens. I mean, you don't... Both of those are optional, because you can get Taiho and not Amada.
Yeah.
And Meg, you don't have
I'd be
to.
curious if they replace her, if they're just an empty slot.
Yeah.
Eiley, my secret girlfriend, thanks the gods.
Yes.
More people comment, then everyone jumps for joy as it fades to white.
I like what Chaco says, something kind of out of character here. He says, you're blessed with good luck in combat.
God confirmed.
Yes. I'm blessed.
HQ, birds chirp.
The screen turns white and everyone freaks out. I guess something is exploding. Morning birds. Eiley, waking me up like normal. She says, Representative General Mackay from Two River and Mayor Gustav from Tinto are waiting for you in the Great Hall. Come on, hurry already.
Eiley tells Riou about the concept of an epilogue.
Yes, the war may be over, but there are still lots of things to be done. You've got a whole new country to create, right? And I'm like, fuck, that sounds exhausting.
Do that shit.
They're going to ask this boy to write a constitution, and he just woke up from being a final boss. Come on now.
The town bustles, plays, and ahead of the Great Hall. Only the best of the best are here. The save file you make here can be imported into Suikoden 3 on the PlayStation 2.
Or Suikoden.
Correct. Heart-softening BGM plays as Riou takes center stage. Mackay congratulates me, saying they can finally begin to rebuild after this terrible war. And I wanted to look at him and go, I don't think about you at all.
Yes, I forgot about you, actually.
Gustav is shitty. Well, at least there's now one less enemy threatening the city-state's soil. Teresa spills the beans. But we still don't have true peace in these lands. Lord Riou, there is something we wish to ask of you. Teresa then breaks from the group and says Harmonia is still north of here, so we can't relax just yet. And as a first-time player of this game, I'm like, oh, is that another fake ending? We're going to go invade Harmonia now?
No, Harmonia, no.
Furthermore, because there is no trust between us, Luca Blight was able to divide the city-state. We need a single, unified country. One that can stand together against its enemies. Lord Riou, we want you to create a new country here. Say it.
Riou Country.
Riou Country, and we want you to lead it.
I think that they...
What the fuck?
I think they pulled the wrong variable here, because every other instance of this is just your army's name, country. So the Franz country, the Fake Nuts country.
Fake Nuts country.
Yeah.
Again, I've said this before. I want to reiterate. I thought Fake Nuts is what I was calling my army of little people within a larger army. I didn't know it was going to be...
Yeah, it was just you and Jowy as part of...
Yeah.
As the company part of
and that
Victor's.
guy who's died, whose name we can't remember.
Pole.
Pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Teresa, go ahead.
Yeah,
Mackay says his matter was voted on and approved by the Two Rivers, three houses of parliament.
Like, I give a shit about any of that.
Yeah. Gustav says if it means a stronger nation able to defend itself, we have no objections either. Miklatov, gotta write his god name again. The knightdom of Matilda is no more, but we will follow your orders in this matter.
The city-states of me.
Camus agrees. Jess says most of the strength of Muse was stolen by Luca Blight. You think? But we haven't lost our pride as the center of the state. As acting mayor of Muse, I also intend to follow the will of Lord Riou.
We get a choice that affects the ending.
Yes, you want to do the I understand ending first? Okay, so if we tell them that we understand, Shu steps forward and thanks us. Shu says, we're here to announce the birth of the fake nuts country.
May it bring peace and prosperity to this land forever. We swear to serve Lord Riou with pride and fidelity.
Everyone hops.
We will always be plays. And we're all in the hilltop conference room at the Muse. The cameras.
We will always be.
That's what I've got.
I've got ending March. When will we meet again? The 108 afterwards.
Sounds like we will always be to me.
Yes.
The 108 afterwards. Jesus. Hey, find 108 afterwards at the end of this podcast after the credits. The camera slowly pans down the room, revealing the current heads of state standing near their respective flags at the table.
Yeah, Riou is going to take a seat at the head of the table, being all presidential and whatnot.
This cuts to Annabelle's desk in Muse. Riou is behind it, and Shu, Klaus, and Apple are here providing counsel.
This should be playing sad music.
Yeah. Like, why is he doing this? He didn't want this. Nobody wanted this. Klaus leaves to enter the library work area. Ridley is shown in the Kobold district barking orders at Kobold troops.
Yeah, same with me, but Boris.
Gengen and Gobacha are present. In Greenhill, Teresa and Shen are standing in front of the academy, speaking to a group of 8 school kids. In Muse, at the waiting wall, the place where Nanami and Riou waited for Jowy, Riou waits alone. The music fades, and then it fades to black.
This is a 12-minute song, and we're just going to keep it rolling until something else plays.
No idea what would have happened if Nanami had lived at this point. Can Nanami live through both endings?
No, Nanami can only live through
the second ending, even if she, okay.
That is one kind of hole here. Is that like Nanami never reveals herself to be alive? If you did all this shit, if you pick this, it's like, hey, Riou, you're the president. I'm alive. Like she never reveals herself.
Honestly, if you don't know anything about Tyr, the first game, you think, yeah, I'll be the president. Sure.
Yeah.
You know,
weird. So then we get into the epilogue stuff,
the character endings.
Yeah, we'll do all that after the last ending that we do, the happy ending. But when it does get to the final fin screen,
yes,
it is an image of Jowy waiting by the waterfall.
He's leaning back against the cliff, staring out in the horizon.
In his original, like, Jowy clothes and his staff and everything.
Back to the default
So it's
Jowy
like,
fit.
oh shit, maybe we should have gone there and seen, because you can't leave.
Chris, rewind it back. Give me another 30-second task in Audacity.
Okay. Go back to the moment of truth. Riou says, I can't do it.
I'm out of missiles.
We walk away. Apple says, where will Riou go? We don't know.
My boy doesn't say shit. Apple backs up and Riou continues his exit, fade to black.
Yeah. You wander into the lobby. Flick says, yo, Riou, where are you going?
Flick and Victor are here.
Yes. Riou pushes his way through. Flick says, Riou, there is great power within you. I don't mean that rune stuck in your hand either. You have taken a great burden on your back thus far and have a duty to fulfill it to the end, for all the people who died in the war and for all the people who survived. Victor says, let him go. Flick, it's necessary.
This is already a better pitch than mayors and shit and voting on things.
Yeah, absolutely. But Riou, don't forget, you've always got a home here. You can walk around the castle now.
Yeah.
Most people around the castle will say something about the end of the war or trying to figure out what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
Not most of it, but some of it ties to what the epilogues is. So there wasn't anything worth writing down. But one thing to note is that if you go to try to go speak with Leona at the bar to put some people in your party, there is a generic NPC there that says, Leona went to restock whiskey.
That's the thing that always says when you can't no longer adjust.
Yeah. So I went and talked to Vicky real quick so I could go teleport around the world and try to find some interesting things.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
It was fine. I went to Kiaro, and a kid will tell you that he saw a mysterious shadow at the dojo. Which is where Nanami is right now, if you were able to keep her alive. If you go up to the Muku Muku tree, you will get a hunter rune and a trio painting. And if you inspect the tree again, you can look into the distance with a cool stylized scene of Riou standing there on the hill, looking out into the horizon and his hair blown and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a little known, or at least nothing that I saw. A trio painting, I assume Nanami, Jowy, Riou.
I guess. I forgot to go to the bath and put it up. So I went to Two River. Every day's a carnival, I guess. Someone in Two River thinks the racial strife may finally be over.
Hell yeah.
I got news for you.
No.
Racial strife is never over. A kid wonders if this means Chaco is coming home. I went to a couple other cities. Like, pretty much anywhere you go, people are talking about the end of the war.
I do think that's cool that they actually put specific dialogue for this very optional stuff.
And this may not be contextual to the end of the game, but I noticed that someone in the south window says, you should buy mannequin piss at the trading post here and bring it to Rockax Castle.
Mannequin piss?
Mannikin, mannequin piss. You want to ask Fate Dad what mannequin?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Initializing fakenet.
It's all based off of a bronze fountain sculpture in central Brussels, Belgium, depicting a naked little boy urinating into the fountain's basin.
Weird. All right, you want to go to Tenzin Pass now?
Go to Tenzin Pass. The wind breezes past.
Yes.
Finally, wind, not crickets or bird chirps. Give me wind.
Love wind. We make our way back to the Promise Rock. I think maybe the game should have done a little bit more to remind us of the Promise Rock before opting into the bad ending.
I would have not thought it. Like, I didn't know at this point that Tenzin Pass was accessible from the world map.
Yes. There should have been a reason to go here at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, like, I knew that Jowy always go back, but I don't know how to find that in the world map. You know what
It's been a long video game in podcast.
Also, I think the dusk setting is new here.
Yeah, because previously we were only here at night.
Yeah.
Jowy is here, standing directly at the rock. He's back in his old clothes. He's got his betrayal portrait back, where he's kind of looking to the side, the one he had as soon as he murdered Annabelle. He says, Riou, you came. Just like you promised. Here we are, once again. Jowy blinks a few times and steps closer. This is where our journey began. You and I walked along the same path for so long together, but this is where they began to diverge. But I have no regrets. But if I did, it would be that I had to betray the city-state and assassinate Lady Annabelle.
It's a big one.
If I had to have any regrets, I would have all the bad things I did.
Yeah,
I
all those
regret.
bad things I did,
Yeah,
I kind of
yeah.
regret those. If I had any.
He goes on, he says, you and I were a lot alike. We were both aiming for the same thing.
At the Highland camp, after I let you both escape ahead, and I'm like, finally, here it is. What happened?
Oh,
He says I was captured and met Luca Blight. And I'm like, I thought you like blacked out and did some black sword rune shit. But
Yeah.
no, he was captured.
I hated him from the beginning. It's true, but I think I admired his strength a little bit too much.
Impossible to say if bad or not.
Maybe that's like Jowy's worst quality.
A bad judge of character? Like admiring strength?
Admiring
fascism?
strength of... Yes, admiring the strength of someone like Luca Blight.
Yeah.
I thought that if I was strong, I could protect everyone and I could create a gentle world where nobody would ever be hurt. But no, forget about it. This is a battle between the King of Highland and the leader of the Franz army. This is truly the final battle. Jowy is here to... He's still like on his destiny shit, right?
Yeah, I'm like, did the rune just vibrate in his head?
Has he been talking to Han Cunningham?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's a good question.
Jowy is determined to commit suicide by a best friend because of destiny.
Suicide by Riou.
Yes. We have two options here.
I guess you're right. We don't need to fight.
I say I guess you're right because I want to fight. I want that ending.
You want to see that happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a sad battle. The music does not change to a duel music. It just keeps going with reminisce, right?
Yeah. I didn't do this, so please tell me.
Oh, I beat the fuck out of Jowy. After, he's got a death portrait. I would describe it as drained Jowy. Like, it looks like all the life has been drained out of him.
Punished.
Yes, punished Jowy. That's right, Riou. Good. Now this war will finally end. Riou, hold up your right hand. Then they do like a COVID high five.
Yeah.
Where like you're holding your hands, but you're not actually...
The high five from Demolition
A Demolition Man
Yeah.
high five. That's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
better. I was watching you all this time. Remember, these two runes were once one, you know? Then they glow.
Spice Girls when two become one place.
Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't. Peace is a beautiful thing, even if it comes at the end of a long, brutal war. It may seem like all is lost, but we'll always have memories. Forgive me, Riou. I sent many men to their deaths. No one knows the pain of that more than I do. But
Look, he's got more regrets, Chris.
yeah, just keep unpacking your regrets here, Jowy. But just as I thought, you had no choice. You had to defeat me. A glorious hero defeats an evil king. The people will all talk and sing about your heroic rise to fame and forget the horrors and sins of war. The defeated soldiers will feel comforted by the fact they were defeated by a hero and deceived by an evil king. So now he's playing martyr.
Yeah.
The runes bling. Jowy says, Riou, I want you to become a great leader. Hold on dearly to this peace that we fought so hard for. We? The rune, it will lend you its power. I'm sure of it. Farewell, my friend, Riou. So the rune is becoming whole once again with Riou. Like he's now acquired the full rune of beginning. Jowy falls, Riou catches him and then lowers his head the same way he did when Nanami was mortally wounded. Almost instantly, it starts to fade out, and it immediately parlays into the Riou becomes president ending. It's like a really shocking...
Wow.
It's a really shocking contrast.
Yeah.
So, kill Jowy, goes back.
Kill Jowy, become president.
The finale screen after the credits here is the trio of Nanami, Riou, and Jowy, but it's sepia-toned.
Oh, so reminisce and during thought.
Yes, some sort of thing. So, let's go back in time again and say we don't need to fight.
Tell my boy we don't need to fight. My dude then summons his staff and says, we do need to fight Riou. Fade to black. When it comes back up, we're squared away into a goddamn gorgeous twilight duel.
Yep.
Riou's in the background with the sun setting over his head. Jowy's in the foreground, staff ready, staring down Riou. The camera does some Mode 7 shit where it rotates around Riou's sprite before framing Jowy in the center of the screen.
Yeah, it lingers just long enough, and it's nice. But this is where we're supposed to think about the parable of Ginkaku and Han, where like Ginkaku refused to fight.
Yes.
Now we have to refuse to fight like our father before us.
I like the game hopes you remember that.
Yeah.
You don't really get specific
No one
instructions.
does. No one will, but...
No. It pulls out, framing Riou as the main character. Health bars appear. Here goes, Riou, Jowy says. I defend. Jowy attacks. Why when you fight, Riou? I defend. The camera does a full 360 on the battlefield, and Jowy asks me the same question, and I give my same answer, defend. After we deny Jowy 3 times, Suikoden 2 reverts to the field screen, and Jowy asks a question. Music, chant plays. Halo music.
I have chant. In knowing you, I embraced life. In losing you, I discovered death.
Okay.
Well...
The waterfall flows in the background. Why have you come all this way only to decide not to fight now? Then we get a choice. There's no reason to fight you or dots. Say there's no reason. He tells me there is a reason. To remove any trace of the Highland Kingdom from this land, Agaris Blight and Luca Blight are already dead, and I've put Jillia to rest with my own hands. He's lying to Riou.
Yes.
Or is he maintaining kayfabe?
I think he's lying.
Okay.
He's still manipulating.
I'm the last living Blight. He doesn't believe any of this shit. He's still lying, Chris.
Yes.
Cut the Blight bloodline once and for all. There will always be fanatics who will try to revive the Kingdom of Highland. I'm like, that I do believe. Correct. Yes. After all, sometimes hope can drive people to madness. Let's make our war the last war to ever plague this land. Again, allusions to Genkaku and like Han having the exact same dreams. Fade to black. When it comes back, run another 1v1 with chant continuing. Jowy says, let's test your strength. Let's finish this long, long battle.
I started thinking about June Mermaid. Like sad battles.
Yeah, the June Mermaid battle. That was a good one. See our Xenogears season. Why won't you fight Riou? Requiem of Grief plays and we're back on the field. Jowy speaks. Riou, I was always jealous of you. There's something about you. Always so strong, so gentle. That's all I ever wanted to be. Loved by everyone just like you were. And that's why, and that's making me wonder why did like Jowy Stars of Destiny not respect him like everyone respects Riou?
Maybe.
I would argue that Shu doesn't respect Riou, really. Maybe
no.
Leon didn't respect Jowy. I don't know, but
he did. Leon was just trying to find a man.
Yeah,
a man who could defeat a man who could defeat a boss that he could trust history to. Jowy collapses, right?
He drops his staff, which then evaporates.
Then his portrait changes to drain Jowy, punish Jowy.
You get a choice: Jowy, capital letters, or dots. I scream my boy's name. He's shaking. His portrait changes to a thoroughly fucked individual. Quote, I used too much power. The beast rune that Luca tried to free, I had to use my black sword rune to stop it and stop doing this. Our 2 runes together, they make a true rune, but if you use it by itself, it takes your life. Thus all of Riou's collapses. Riou, I'm going to die anyway, so I give you my life so the 2 can become one again. Riou, your right hand. And we get a choice. I can't do that. Or okay, Jowy.
I can't do it.
It's no good.
I can't shoot.
Jowy gets weepy. Riou, I'm sorry. I can't stand it anymore. All the lives that I stole, all the people that I hurt. You get that choice.
It's no good.
Can't do it. I'm out of missiles. Please, I beg you, don't let our dreams have been in vain. You get a choice.
Can't shoot.
No.
So, you like Suikoden?
My dude refuses to give up. And giving up, Riou, there's no time. Please, I'm all ready. I tell Jowy no once more, and the music stops. He says Riou's name. The rune-changing sound is audible. Jowy's flashing, charging up for a power move. What's this, he wonders. God damn it, Riou starts flashing too. Jowy thinks the rune's power is healing his body, and both runes bling. There's a circular portal appearing behind the boys, which they then turn their heads to look at with a custom animation. Their star plays. Who beams in?
Theme of touching, it's Leknot.
Extremely convenient horseshit.
She says, the rune of beginning. It only appears when the holders of the 2 runes face each other in combat, just as when this world was first born, Riou, if you read the old book. Even so, you chose not to fight. That spirit and the spirit of the 108 Stars of Destiny have called forth the power of the true rune of beginning.
Chris, can we only be healed by ending the violence?
Yeah. And having 108 homies. It's the only way to do it. Riou, just as I thought, you are a strong man. Please go. Riou, Jowy, the world is still mostly unknown to you, overflowing with new things. There's no reason for you to stay in these lands.
I wanted to zoom out to the full Suikoden world map and find out this place is like the size of Connecticut.
I think it actually is.
God.
Jowy stands up, drops some dots. He's quivering still. He says, but I murdered people with my own 2 hands. Lady Annabelle, Luca Blight, and others, and all those soldiers.
Buddy, I think I handled Luca, all right?
Yeah, I mean, you delivered Luca, but yeah, I'm the one who, tore him apart. My sins are heavy. Leknot says, and they will not disappear as long as you live. I believe you're strong enough to go on and make this world a better place.
The lenient liberal judge, Chris.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She beams out. We get a heart softener.
1.
Honestly, this is how questions of forgiveness with an actual god would probably go. Yeah, whatever, who gives a shit? You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think you're right. As our boys gaze upon one another and blink as a heart softener drops. We just defied destiny. We were told by mystical objects and people in this world that we boys needed to shape a new world, but we have the answer. Fate is not unchangeable. You can just leave.
Just leave.
We're leaving.
The man called Jowy Blight has no place in this world anymore, which to me says Jowy just no-sold the Leknot shit.
No, he's going to be called Pete now or something.
Okay.
He's throwing away his
Pete.
name. Yes.
He's going to be called Paul Atreides.
Yes. That's it. That's right.
But I can forget this land and forget the name Jowy, and maybe I can start again. We get a choice. Of course, or you must understand. What?
Of course?
I say of course. Jowy turns to face the cliff wall and says, this was the place where our journey began. How many hours have passed since we were first here? Let's go, Riou. Let's make this place the beginning of our journey. Chris, how many hours passed for
It's
you?
only been 22 hours.
I've got 120 hours.
Because of my Game Shark.
Okay.
My Clive Game Shark codes.
Jowy then joins my party at level 63, and we manually walk out of here to heart softening BGM 1.
Yep.
After a few screens, Jowy parties out and says, if we hadn't run away then.
Yeah, this is the actual where the camp was set up at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, we're reminisce about our enduring thoughts.
Yes.
Who comes out of the woodwork?
Shu, of course.
Fuck.
He finishes the sentence, then we'd really have problems, because without you two, we wouldn't have peace in this land. First of all, wait, really? Because of you two? I thought I was the one.
It's all part of his plan, Chris.
The only thing that Jowy did to deliver peace to this world was to deliver Luca Blight to us.
He also had to oppose Riou and give Riou a purpose. Thus, Shu claiming it to be his plan. Shu was motivating Riou and keeping Riou in the game so Jowy could 5D chess, fucking 11D chess. Shit.
It's happening.
My good bitch steps up and says, so you're leaving. I had hoped that you would stay and lead this country. You're the right man to do it, but I won't try to stop you. You've certainly paid your dues and then some. We could ask no more of you. Go out there and see the world. Feel the world. It's still a big world to you, and I hope that when you're finished with your journey, one day you'll come back. There's just one thing I have left to report. Although I was asked not to tell you until this point, I'll understand if you want to punish me for disloyalty. When Nanami fell in the Matilda Knightdom, this is when I realized she was coming back.
Yeah.
I said, shoot, you fucker.
Yeah.
We sepia-tone flashback to Juan's office and they are trying to patch Nanami up. It goes through the whole thing, eventually revealing what happened inside Juan's office.
Yes, Nanami is indeed alive. She says that she asked Dr. Juan for this. This is when Shu comes into the room. She says, I'm thinking about getting away from Riou for a while.
Shit.
Shu says that Riou will be saddened to hear that. Nanami acknowledges this, but this is all very hard for her with Riou and Jowy fighting. Also, it's hard for her to see Riou in pain. She says, quote, when there were arrows raining down on us and Riou tried to shield me with his body, I realized Riou shouldn't do such a thing. He's too important for that. Shu seems to agree, saying a leader of men cannot behave like that. Nanami says, that's why I'm going to let you have him to all to yourself for a while. When asked what she will do, she says she will go back to Grandpa Kinkaku's house. She says that she thinks it'll be safe there. Besides, when this is all over, that kid will need a place to return home to, right? Also, I have a favor to ask. If it's ever time for Riou to come home, tell him about this conversation. She wonders why he has to be the one to do it. Nanami says that she figured that if it's him, he'd never tell unless it was absolutely necessary.
Correct assertion.
She played Shu a little bit there because Shu absolutely agrees there. So Nanami all this whole time was trying to leave, and she finally figured out a way to leave.
Yeah,
and
she did it.
Yeah, so
I think her plan was pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too. Knowing that Gremio had already been resurrected, that she's got to hang on for dear life and go on from there. But then we fade back to the present. Shu says that these are his final words to Riou as a strategist. Take good care of yourself, Lord Riou.
I wanted Jowy to be like, what do you mean Nanami was fake dead? What?
Yeah, Jowy doesn't say shit.
No, he didn't address any of this stuff. No apologies for Nanami earlier or what?
Fade out. Heart softener pops.
BGM 2.
BGM 2. Heart softener BGM 2 pops. Our boys are running back to the dojo. Nanami runs to hug them like Nanami would. They visit Grandpa's grave in the back. They visit Jowy's house. They're all wearing big backpacks. I like the big backpacks. You notice that?
Yeah.
Big backpack sprites. They're going backpacking.
Backpack adventure, backpacked up.
There's a lot of fun kind of dialogueless emoting here. Like you can tell that they're chatting and having a good time, but we don't actually get to see or hear those words.
What their good time is.
Yes. Then we get a scene of the three of them looking through a gate at Pilika and Jillia watering flowers in their new house.
It's an unfamiliar homestead. Lushly gardened, sleeping dog, cat.
Which implies they traveled all the way to Harmonia.
Yes,
So-
that's where they went.
Yeah. Pilika may have noticed them. Then we see the three of them merrily crossing the bridge as it fades away.
Was Jowy looking at that house to live, to just see that it happened and then leave again? Or is he, is that where he lives and the rest is just, what is that house visitation?
I think
I saw it as they made it, and he just fucks off.
Yeah, I think that's what
Okay.
they were doing. Yeah.
Right.
Because he's not going to live as Jowy Blight anymore. He's off.
Because Pilika drops the watering can and bolts toward the gate when Jillia stands up to watch.
Mhm.
So they did have a reunion. He didn't just look in from afar like fucking a creep, right?
I thought maybe she noticed something, but then when by the
just
time
the
she
wind.
got down there, it was nothing. But
Okay. It cuts to Riou and Nanami walking across a chasm-spanning rope bridge. Nanami's humming a tune. Camera fades to black. Jowy hustles up. Music, La Pasión Comuna, La Storia plays.
Passion Effects history.
That's it.
All right, we're going to read the character endings. First, we get a background picture of the black sword rune and the bright shield rune. Teresa became mayor of Greenhill and made peace with Ikaria.
Also, there are multiple kind of shortly animated scenes between some of these.
Shin says, left Greenhill to sharpen his skill as a swordsman and never returned.
Good.
Yeah. Emilia returned.
Teresa broke up with him.
Emilia returned to the Leaf Academy and became the headmaster and taught at the school. Fitcher returned to Mew City and was later elected as mayor. What?
Bad.
Jess, after ending his term as acting mayor, chose to live as a normal citizen. Good for you, Jess. Hauser, couldn't do anything else other than become commander of the Fake Nuts National Army.
I was going to say fought in arm. By the way, I didn't look at these because I wanted to be surprised on the podcast.
I didn't look at them either because I was kind of multitasking, so I
Typing
got
notes.
up. All I wanted to do was get up and come back and see the final screen on these.
Yeah.
See what it was. Freed Y refused a position in the country of Fake Nuts. I'm just going to keep saying that. The canonical is Dunan, and returned to live in Radat. Yoshino, as promised, she returned to Radat with Freed Y and lived happily ever after. Marlowe founded a library in Tinto City and taught many children the love of learning. Gamiju fought in Grassland War as captain of the Tinto City forces.
Cool. Lo Wen living happily in Two River City where she opened a restaurant. Koyu occasionally visits Marlowe and marvels at his great, quote, scholarship. Hilda returned to the White Deer Inn to live happily with Alex and Pete. Disagree. Alex returned to the White Deer Inn, but can't seem to lose his treasure hunting bug.
Ah, good old Alex.
Never gives it up. Never going to let you down. Max, once the war was over, ended his long career as a knight in the service of justice. Max, again, died on the battlefield. What?
There's two.
Two, okay.
Yeah, he can. If he dies, his epilogue will change.
Miklatov reformed Matilda Knightdom, selected as commander, but politely declined the honor. Camus reformed Matilda Knightdom along with Miklatov and then journeyed to the grasslands. Richmond, still a private investigator in Radat.
Oh, that Richmond.
Scene. Our circus friends are performing. Annalie's band performing in a huge crowd, which includes Highland soldiers in the castle's front yard. Sheena is also playing cards with Rena.
Yeah, Bolgan almost breathes fire on somebody. I didn't catch who it was, though.
A human in front of shotguns when their characters watches them performing outside your castle. Background is now a picture of the mercenary fort. Second part of characters ending. Go, Chris.
Eiley returned to her life as a traveling performer, but often thinks of Riou. Rena led a group of performers with Eiley and Bolgan and travels around the world. Bolgan returned to his life in the traveling circus, but continues to study hard. Good job, Bolgan. Annalie.
Study what?
Learning
Okay,
words.
learning.
Yes.
Words. Yeah, okay.
Annalie travels with her music group, sharing her beautiful voices with people everywhere. Pico travels with Annalie and continues to get into troubles wherever. Okay. Alberto travels with his group while improving his armor skills that he learned in Crom. Tai-Ho returned to Kaku in his life of ribaldry and turpitude.
Great. I don't know what that word means. Finally, Suikoden said a word that I don't know.
Ribaldry and turpitude. Great.
Fake net. Spill the water on the mixer.
Initializing fake net.
Ribaldry is amusingly coarse or irreverent talk or behavior.
Wait, what happened to the mixer?
It's fine.
Fucking glad there's a lid on that, dude.
Yeah, it wouldn't be there otherwise. Probably. Maybe. Yamku enjoys a life of fishing in the Lake of Torin. Templeton, currently traveling to try to discover the edge of the world. Pesmerga left the Franz Fake Nuts army to once again, this is what it says, to once again in pursuit of Uber.
Yes, I in pursuit of Uber all the time.
That's what it says. Killy journeyed to Kanakon, south of the Torin Republic, in search of the mystery of the Sindar. Lorelei, planning to investigate the ruins in Kanakon before Killy can.
Sai, returned to his wife where he lives constantly as a father and husband. Chris, they got back together.
Finally.
Tomo, reuniting with their parents, currently living happily at home with both of them. Hana, journeying to the grassland without saying a word to anyone. Nice. It's my dream. Zamza stayed in the Fake Nuts army as a magic instructor, still infuriating as ever.
Yeah.
Gorg, with his contract over, he left like a ghost, whereabout unknown.
Oh.
Anita traveled to the Torin Republic to challenge her rival. It's Valeria.
Yeah, and if you have Valeria in your party...
Challenged Valeria to a duel, but after fighting to a draw, continued her journey.
Yep.
That is in the Suikoden.
Cool.
Scene, you'll see Ridley at Two River leading a battle-dressed squad of kobolds and wingers. He gets mad at wingers that don't listen to him. Hinges to a background picture of our castle. Ridley returned to Two River where he continued as leader of the kobold army. Chaco returned to Two River, currently stirring up lots of troubles with his pals.
Sid, living somewhere in Two River where he does his best to frighten the townsfolk.
Listens to Marilyn Manson.
Yes. Gengen achieved his desire by becoming captain of the Fake Nuts army. A captain, excuse me. Gobacha, currently performing admirably as Gengen's first lieutenant. Yuzu finally found her grandpa and returned home with Taro. I think Taro was her sheep.
Yeah.
Yoko Taro.
Sheeple.
Vincent de Bowles journeyed to the Holy Kingdom of Harmonia to continue his studies abroad. Simone left with Vincent on a journey to the Holy Kingdom of Harmonia. Hans, still working as an armorer in Housefuck Castle. Ulan stayed in the nation of Fake Nuts and became captain of the bodyguards. Genshu returned to his life of wandering where his whereabouts are currently unknown. Gentetsu returned to Klon in the Torin Republic where his expulsion was rescinded. I don't know if we ever knew that Gentetsu was expelled from the temple, but
yeah,
that's
probably told us that.
Pretty funny. Taki, living happily with her daughter's family in Two River. Shiloh, his gambling house in Housefuck Castle, still a raging success. All right, I'm going to page you here.
Tetsu returned to Lake West where he's building the largest bathhouse in Name of Nation.
Hell yeah.
Rikimaru traveled north once again in search of object of his revenge. Elsie-chan never forgot to do his daily run, squats, push-ups, and sit-up.
What about Ricky Maru's revenge? Did we know he was on a revenge quest?
Not that I remember.
I thought he was just wanting to eat.
Yeah, I thought he was just hanging out, eating food, and feeling ignored that he didn't have a place to stay in the castle. Rikaba, training daily with her teacher. Her goal is to be the bear with her bare hands.
Okay.
Scene. Remember this one being particularly fucked up. Gadget in the center of a circle with Jean, Tenko, Meg, Rora, Tasai, and Lebrant. Gadget then levels up, gets armored, grows twice as tall with Meg groffing on his shoulder. No one can believe this shit.
Yeah, he basically transforms into a wooden Gundam.
Yes. Also in Suikoden.
Yeah, in Suikoden 3.
Meg, riding on Gadget, she took off on an adventure to find Jupo. Gadget continues to allow Meg to travel with him despite her selfishness. Tenko returned to his quiet life in Crom Village. Rora journeyed north toward the Torin Republic. Tasai gained great fame as a swordsmith while continuing to work in Housefuck Castle.
Lebrant works as an appraiser while searching for the Celadon urn to bring collection to 1,000.
I already gave him so many of those.
Mazes set off for Torin Republic to battle Crowley the Wizard, his arch-rival. Gilbert, tired of wars, he retired as a mercenary and returned to his wife and children in Zexen.
Died in the first battle in this game.
Yep. Gordon, still living in the nation of blank. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Gordon, still living in the nation of Fake Nuts and trying to expand the Gordon industry. Hoy decided to retire from thievery, but soon realizes that was a terrible mistake. Tony continues to work hard to grow delicious vegetables in the fertile fields of Tinto. I thought Tinto was barren land.
You can do anything with a little magic, Chris.
Hayo has 2. Hayo, ending A, continued his wandering in order to avoid being caught by the organization. I thought it was called the group. Hayo ending number B. Returned to Black Dragon Island to lay flowers on the grave of Shinmun. Adlai returned to South Window to continue inventing and making trouble for his neighbors. Jude also has 2 endings. Number 1, stayed in Housefuck Castle to try to complete his work on the Guardian Deity. Jude ending number 2, looking for inspiration for his new work following Rio's Guardian Deity. Jean returned to Anti to continue her work as Rue Master.
Karen, the men of Couscous still go to see Karen dance, annoying their wives greatly. Connell returned to Forest Village and headed for Crystal Village to continue his studies. Luke, after the war, he considered his role ended and returned to Leknot's service. And this is a bonus screen you'll only get if you get all of the Muku Muku friends.
Oh.
You'll see 5 squirrels and also with 2 monsters, Shiro and Kinnison, watching them as Ida comes in and stares at Kinnison. Then he'll be shy to face her and panics.
Oh.
I'm sorry, if this happens if you've completed the 5 squirrels and also gotten Ada, Feather, Kinnison, and Siegfried.
Gotcha.
Feather, with no place to return to, he still protects Housefuck Castle from all enemies. Siegfried, return quietly to the forest. As a boa, people still sometimes see a large octopus swimming around Housefuck Castle. Muku Muku, return to the forest from where he sprung. Humphrey, set off again on a journey for the Temple of the Crystal Ballet.
It says Crystal Ballet, but it's supposed to be Crystal Valley.
Crystal Ballet.
But they fucked it up.
Nice.
It is like that in the game. It's not just that document.
Futch, set off for the Crystal Valley with Humphrey in search of a dragon.
I thought they already had a dragon.
They find another one, perhaps in a Suikoden game.
But the dragon they found in the fucking game is the one he has.
They get 2. There's another one. There's always another dragon, Chris.
Maybe you're just in a different perspective.
They go to the dragon dimension with the it's fucked, okay?
Okay.
One more. Millie, travel to the grasslands in search for a bride for Bonaparte. Oof.
Whew. Stallion continues his journey to become the fastest living creature in the land. Mondo, after completing Hanzo's mission, returned to Gokaku. Sasuke, returned to Gokaku village with Kasumi and Mondo. Amada, commandeered a ship and returned to the island countries. Bado, stayed in the Fake Nuts army as a beastmaster where he practices his unique skills. Bob, moved back to Cobalt Village where he complains a lot but lives a happy life. Ida, returned to the deep forest where she lives a life in harmony with nature. Kinnison, returned with Shiro to the woods near Ryube, but occasionally visits the deep forest too. Shiro is always seen by the side of his master, Kinnison. We get a scene, it's Victor and Flick in the Mercenary Fort entrance talking about something. They're just emoting.
Yeah, they both nod to each other.
Back and forth. And as they start to head out, they see Tengar dragging little Hicks behind them.
Yeah.
And Victor and Flick laugh and proceed. Tengar drags Hicks again after Flick and Victor go into the fortress. The background changes to the staff of Jowy and the Tonfa of Rio.
So that's incomplete according to what I saw.
Oh.
Like, first off, I saw that as Flick and Victor walked into the fort and decided to walk away, but then Tengar drags Hicks up, and they're like, well, I guess we can restart this once Hicks rolls up.
Oh,
and
okay.
Then also, Nina rushes up, looks around, and heads into the fort.
Yeah, I saw that too. This thing I was reading didn't have it. Yeah, Nina's there just, stalking Flick?
Yes. Flick, instead of going to the Warriors' village, set off on a journey with Victor. Victor, after destroying Necklord, set off on an aimless journey for a change of pace. Nina tried to, but couldn't follow Flick, still waiting in Greenhill for him to return, which directly conflict. I mean, maybe because she went to the Merc Fort after Flick and Victor left, maybe.
Yeah.
Sierra decided to hang around with the humans instead of returning to the Blue Moon Village.
I'm disappointed that Claws didn't lose Claws.
Yeah, there's nothing with Claw. That sucks. Khan became the first vampire hunter and started to look for a new life. Also the last vampire hunter.
Yeah, he was the... Okay.
Yeah. Clive set off once again in hunt of Elza. Clive, too, after burying the corpse of Elza, became leader of the Howling Voice Guild.
Oh, Clive.
Vicky drank too much champagne and accidentally teleported herself off somewhere. Hicks continues his coming-of-age journey with Tengar. Tengar received Village's blessing for marriage, currently waiting for Hicks to propose. Kiba, during the Matilda campaign, he led his OEN unit and was killed at the Mercenary Fort. Klaus stayed in Housefuck and received training as a military strategist. Directly conflict with his Greenhill wishes.
Yes. Kasumi returned to Rokaku after completing the mission given to her by President LaPont. Valeria returned to Gregminster with the volunteer soldiers she led. Barbara became keeper of the nation's national vault, which I think was also Rock's epilogue in the first game.
Yes.
Juan returned to Muse to begin the healing of all the people injured in the war because he's the only doctor in the world.
What a job.
Tuta continued his advanced training in the art of medicine while assisting Dr. Juan. Leona, they say there's never an empty chair at her tavern in Housefuck Castle. Sheena returned to Torrent to get some extra gold and then set off on a journey of exploration. Apple said goodbye to Shu and sets on a journey to research the life of Matthew. So she's going to become a biographer and not
Matthew biographer, spread
Yes.
the propaganda.
Yes. Shu dreams of a quiet life as he continues to play a vital role in the Fake Nuts country. Nanami, version number 1, died in rock axe trying to protect Riou and Jowy. Version number 2, after reuniting in Kiaro, the three friends continue to journey merrily together. And then, of course, Riou, the Tenkai star, has 2 endings, continues to lead the nation of Fake Nuts, or, to him, the smiles of Jowy and Nanami are his greatest treasure. Staff roll.
And video game.
Staff roll plays, and then we get all the credits, and then the finale screen is the trio, the same one we saw in the middle ending, but it is in color this time.
Yes, indicating that it is the present and not the past.
Yes, we did it. We beat the video game and got the happy ending. What did you think of the ending arrangement? Did you think that the happy ending was the best ending? Because I kind of think the middle ending is the best ending, where you kill Jowy and then become the president in your sadness.
I think that is the tragic ending.
Yeah.
Which I think is the one the characters, like the plot most points to. But I do like that you're allowed the agency to just go off and hang out with your friend.
I do like both the kind of the somber ending where you have to kill your friend and become the president, and the...
What a punishment. You must become the president.
Yes. But the ending where, let's call it the you can just leave ending. There's a lot of you can just leaving in this video game, and we finally got to do it with no strings attached.
I can't think of any other game that just lets you quit the conflict.
Yes, which I think is terrific. When I say the you can just leave ending, I mean the one that you can do in the middle of the game, but also the happy ending.
Yeah.
Because all 3 of them just fucking left.
Right. They're both the same inflection
and
point.
started over. So, but it worked out much better. So we did it. We played Suikoden 2.
Well, Chris, so that's your favorite video game?
It rotates up and down the list, but
I don't think you can be at 40 and have a favorite video game.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like a spectrum of things you draw from depending on your mood that day.
Yeah, but when it comes to RPGs from this era, it's almost always at the top.
It always floats.
Yeah.
I thought it was a sweeping epic that was heavily compromised by the worst localization of a game of its class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I haven't played Guardians Crusade. Maybe it's worse, but like as far as games that people put on pedestals, this got done so dirty.
Yeah, it really did.
And I think, honestly, it could have had a bigger impact even with a pixel sprite game in 99.
Yeah.
Had it just been handled with a bit more care and Konami not needed to push the button to make it generate Metal Gear. I don't know why that came out when it did.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it had to before the PlayStation 2 came. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I'm now glad that I've experienced what both of these games are.
Yeah, I think now you get why people hold these games up in high regard.
It's one of those things where I wish I would have played it when I was 16.
Yeah.
So it could have made that formative impact.
You can describe this game as being extremely dense when it comes to just all the little things that you can find. I mean, think about this is like a 35 to 40 hour video game, and our podcast took a lot longer than let's, for example, this is a shorter game than Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
But it took us about the same amount of episodes to cover it because it's so dense with characters and nooks and crannies and alternate scenarios and things like that.
If this was our full-time job, I think we could get a 10 to 12 episode spin-off podcast comparing and contrasting how this game and Chrono Cross handled characters.
Yeah.
Juggled characters and try to create character moments and themes.
Yeah. And I think that's what this game did made me so excited for what Suikoden could become. And then Suikoden 3 came out, and there's a lot of things you can criticize about that game, but in terms of its world and its characters and kind of building on some of the themes and the characters themselves, I really enjoyed it. And then it all fell off from there.
I remember Suikoden 3 being received pretty well.
I think it was.
That's the one I saw my roommates playing when I first moved out of my house.
Yeah, and I think what Suikoden really needed was a designer who was concerned with the math of the video game, and then Murayama as the director and the writer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they decided in the third game to create a buddy system where you could only issue 3 commands per turn, and say if you have one character in the front row and a character right behind him, those 2 characters have to act in unison. So if you wanted to use a rune on both of them on the same turn, you couldn't.
Cool.
and the other one would just auto attack.
That's what I do with my buddy system.
Yeah. So
And you said
anyway,
the series fell off. I know Suikoden 4 doesn't have a high opinion, but I thought 5 got it back on track a little.
yeah, 5 got it back on track. 5 drew deeply from Suikoden 2. Like it wanted to be Suikoden 2 again. Although the character you play as is again a person of lordly caliber, like Tyr McDowell was, like it's like a prince
Yeah.
that leads a war. But the thing that never happened was the timeline never progressed beyond Suikoden 3.
So you still don't know where.
So
the story
Suikoden
is.
3 left at a very interesting point, and it involves Harmonia, Zexen in the grasslands, and starts to kind of mesh things together. There's a lot of characters and descendants of characters that show up in that game that make it really interesting, and it was not allowed to carry on.
So what have you got coming up on the bonus episodes? We have 1 to 2 episodes on each Suikoden game.
Yep.
We have the character tournament where we battle all the Stars of Destiny or portraited characters and then put those in the winners tournament against the ones from the first game and hope to God our brains and where those people
I
are.
can't wait. I can't wait to record that.
We're going to attempt to explain this game to our significant others.
We're doing both at the same time.
I think I'm going to black out, and you know how I try to recount the events of a past game in the middle of another game? Maybe we'll do that.
Okay.
Or both. I can't remember anything from Suikoden 1 at this point, so that might be funny. I don't know. You probably can.
We have visual aids.
We are going... depending on the timing and how quickly I have to start Xenosaga, I may force Chris to do a 10,000 bullets episode. I'm not entirely sure.
10,000 bullets.
And depending on when it comes out, maybe it might be later in the future in the bonus series, but I'm pretty sure Chris is going to get that re-release, play it, and give his thoughts about it into a podcast.
Yeah, I think I'll play through it and kind of write down things that I'm noticing in the localization and things that I like.
But obviously we can't do that until it comes out.
Yeah, it's not at the time of this recording.
Also,
it's not
Uden Chronicle isn't out yet. We have a bonus episode on that other game, the prequel.
A Uden Chronicle Rising.
Yeah, you can listen to that. We recorded
Kangarooman.
Vanillaware wannabe. It's fine.
I liked things about it, but the game itself was not great. Anyway, Suikoden 2 is over. You have any more parting thoughts? Video game?
Video game.
Video game. Beautiful sprites.
Wonderful.
Goodbye,
it's
beautiful
very
sprites.
much past my bedtime. I'm sorry.
Yes, me too. Real net?
Real Ned.
Initializing real
John
net.
Doe says split an episode into chunks and hit 69.
Episodechunk.com.
John Doe says environmental asset descriptions are one of my favorite things in video games, but only when they're interesting or funny, or at the very least, some kind of implicit characterization of the environment's residents. A lot of Suikoden 2's environmental descriptions are just none of these things.
I don't know that we talked about it because it wasn't invented at the time, but whenever someone made the 3D polygon environment explorer for Xenogears, they found that table that the bottom texture, the artist had left his name below
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in Bloodovik.
Eric Verdon says Han Cunningham being someone is such a weird last-minute addition. I
I'm
agree.
for it, ultimately.
Yeah, I'm for it. I wish we could have gotten a little bit more. John Doe says, I know that they kind of do this later in the series, but it's kind of a bummer that we didn't get an opposing 108 Stars of Destiny in this game.
They do that later in the
Well,
series?
no, Suikoden 3 kind of like the Stars of Destiny are not just like all on the same team. Like they're on different teams.
Oh,
like there's
I see.
bad guys
Yeah.
that are Stars of Destinies too, and sometimes you play stuff from their perspective.
Gray areas.
Yes. Andy Hoof says a swarm of squirrels could easily devour an adult human. I don't.
Do squirrels
I
are
don't
carnivores?
know, but if they wanted to, they could.
I don't know.
Andy Hoof says, I'm guessing that Blight family dynamics didn't exactly help provide an understanding of healthy relationships when it comes to Jillia's profession of love.
That's a good point. She didn't know how to do any of this. And it's still fucked up to presume she's innocent in all of it, too.
Yep. John Doe says, I want to say that true runes are immortal, godlike existences, and in this instance, you are just destroying the physical manifestation of the beast rune. I think that's probably the way to think about it.
That's cool to maintain them as divine.
Because if you haven't noticed, there is a pattern here of Suikoden games end with fighting some sort of physical incarnation of a true rune. Like that's pretty much true across the board, I think. I never finished 4.
True rune across the board.
Ted.
How bad did 4 have to be for you to not finish it?
You had to sail around a boat, and the boat had random encounters, and you could only put 4 people in your party, and Ted was in the game.
Okay.
I don't even know if I got to Ted, actually.
Good enough.
I don't think that it was maybe as bad as my memories.
Yeah, it could have been a
serve.
place in life type thing.
Yes,
too.
I think that was absolutely part of the case. And also, it just wasn't anything like the other games. And also, it's a prequel, like lots of things. Lots of things happen.
All the time. Things keep happening.
I was thinking about how, like, Tyr McDowell accepted the Soul Eater because he was doing a favor for Ted.
Yeah.
But Jowy and Riou They didn't ask for anything. Like they just
Went to a goddamn cave.
happened to wander into a cave. I thought that was
But at least Riou was a fated boy of destiny before that.
yes, that's true.
Like, you wonder what if Riou and Nanami walked in that cave?
Yeah, I do like how the second game, the hero or heroes, I guess, are like basically nobodies.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the son of Genkaku, so there's some sort of destiny there, but like they weren't people of stature. John Doe says, Luca Blight killed a lot of people, but you can't die in a war if you're already dead, so impossible to say if bad or not.
True.
Squeak says, talking about the end of the game, the duel system really makes the scene. I can't even imagine how they would do this without the duels. Yeah, the duel as a storytelling device was...
It seems to exist for that moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was definitely underutilized compared to the first game.
Yeah, this game did not really make you duel a whole lot. I thought that there would be more. But we didn't really fight any, like...
Pivotal dudes.
Duelable characters. Like, we didn't fight Lucia and Seed and Culgan and all those people until the end, so... Would have been nice if they'd have thrown a few more in there, though. Dragonzor says, the Blights may have been evil, but they got the trains to run on time.
It's true.
We talked about this, but it bears repeating. Air9 says, the true lesson of Suikoden 2 keeps giving you can just walk away.
Walk away.
John Doe says, goodbye, Jowy Atreides. Hello, Joey Atreides.
Hell yeah. Jowy is kind of not bright enough to change his name just to Joey.
Apparently, when I said Killy went to Comic-Con, it sounded like I said Comic-Con, which probably.
Sure, he's dressed for it.
Squeak says, Fubar best boy. Yeah, there's a griffin in the third game named Fubar.
Fucked up beyond all repair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, RealNet, for joining us tonight. We will see you in the next season of Retrograde Amnesia.
Xenosaga.
Xenosaga.
The Will of Power.
Gonna read some Nietzsche. This episode is a production of me, and only me. Just kidding. Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on April 25th, 2023. You can find us on Twitter at RetroAmnesiaPod. You can email us at podcast@retrogradeamnesia.com, and you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/retroam and get all that bonus stuff we were talking about earlier. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Mark, for the intro music.
Chris, yeah, you're welcome.
Till next time.
Do you even remember the antagonist for Xenosaga? Yes, we'll kill Albedo. Something, I don't know.
Yes, we'll stomp on Albedo's face. No, yes, we will rip our own heads off and stomp on them.
Correct.
See you then. Han tells me you can't. First on.
Oh, like me physically go there.
Yeah, it's like go to work. Go there. Yeah.
Cool.
So I need to go fucking shave. I need to find some pants.
The Morphobots feed on robotic insects.
Teresa. It's Marlo. It's Tetsu.
Oh my god.
Alex.
It's Alex.
It's Necromancer. It's Apple. It's Mom. It's Valeria. Your favorite flying Victor. It's Booker. It's Todd. It's Boris. It's Hilda. It's Humphrey. It's Jess. It's Jude. It's Yoshida. It's God. It's the lovely and desirable. Let's hear it for It's Little Users. It's Rena. It's Fitcher. It's Flick. It's Killy. It's Shiloh. It's Kennison. It's Shiro. It's Claw. It's Lord. It's Koyu. It's Long Chan Chan. The Winger. Sid. It's Leona. Sierra. It's Lone It's Lorelei. It's Stallion. It's Ty Ho.
Rally ho.
It's Taki. It's Tengar.
Shepherd.
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 Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd. Shepherd.
Shepherd. Shepherd.
It's no good.
I've been watching you a while since you walked into my life. Monday morning, when first I heard you speak to me, I was too shy to let you know, much too scared to let my feelings show. But you shielded me, and that was the beginning.